Hey, Duff here. You may be wondering why I'm sitting here with the Mini Pro with the monster tires, an air compressor, and a ratcheting strap. Well, the reason for that is yesterday Cindy and I went over to the school. We wanted to do some comparison testing between the Mini Pro with the bigger tires and our original one. And Cindy got on it and she's like, oh, well, this doesn't feel right. It feels bumpy or whatever. And the bumpiness that she was feeling was this tire was completely deflated and the bead was not set anymore on the rim. So because the bead was not set, I at first had her run home and get the hand air pump, and without the bead being set, there was no way I could add air to it. It just leaked out the rim here. So we brought it home. I actually went to the gas station, tried to fill it there, had no luck. I was incredibly frustrated, partially because we paid to have it done, and it leaked, obviously. We got it home, and I had a very, very annoying and frustrating, 45-minute to an hour session of trying to get this tire reseated. And I used an air compressor so I would have more flow, and I just could not get it. No matter what I would do, if I would manipulate the tire so it wouldn't leak out one side, it would leak out of the other side. Just frustrated the hell out of me. So I gave up, and I told Cindy that she would have to take it back to the bike place next week to have them reseat the tire, because I couldn't get it to go. So I woke up this morning with a renewed sense of intent to try this again, and I went on YouTube and looked at a bunch of different videos for suggestions, and some of them were quite interesting. One guy talked about using a Murphy soap product to basically, you just jam soap in this rim and then you fill it, and then that will temporarily keep the air from escaping, and then once the bead pops, it'll push the soap out, and that was his solution. Another interesting solution was people using starting fluid, and what they basically are doing is they spray some starting fluid on the inside of the tire, take a lighter and light it, and that quick explosion is enough to pop the tire onto the bead. I decided not to go that route. What I wound up doing was another technique that I found was using ratcheting straps or some variation of this, basically putting a strap around the center of the tire, cranking it down tight to force the tire onto the rim enough that you can get some pressure in there, and that's what I just did, and it actually worked. When I took this ratchet, when I loosened the ratchet, it exploded off. I didn't expect that. There was a lot of pressure in here. When I first checked the pressure after I was done, it was actually reading 80 psi, which is way too high. These aren't supposed to be inflated over 40. So I've adjusted it down, but right now it looks like we're back in business. We have 2 inflated tires, so I'm hoping I can talk Cindy into going over to the school with me again and doing some tests, even though it is hot as hell. But yeah, welcome to summer in Florida. Alright, so after a day delay, we're back at the school, hoping to do some accurate speed tests. But I thought your watch doesn't have GPS. So anyways, like I mentioned at the start of the video, the bead had popped off the one tire on the Mini Pro, so that was quite the ordeal getting it back on, but it is back on now. So I have the untouched Mini Pro and the Monster Mini Pro. Both have full charges, and can't really do a side-by-side acceleration test, but we can do a point A to B acceleration test. You just need to have the same rider doing it for accurate numbers. So yeah, we'll see how this works out. Alright, I can already tell that she's faster than me because I'm hitting tilt back here, and she is not. I haven't heard you beep yet. Okay, so I was just checking the mileage on Cindy's Mini Pro. She has 282 miles on her Mini Pro. Okay, so Cindy and I, even though this isn't a 100% accurate test, we're going to just do a side-by-side start and just see how this goes. And she has less weight, so she should accelerate faster, but let's see how it goes. You ready?
Do not enter?
Until we beep.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Go.
See, she beeped later than me, and she beat me. It's funny, when I first get in a Mini Pro, I have issues where I try to ride it like I'm riding an EUC, and that doesn't work. Got myself in trouble a couple times. Okay, we're heading over to the track to do some side-by-side straightaway testing. One issue Cindy identified with not having the fenders on is there's nothing to stop your feet when you're going out. So she was actually rubbing her flip-flops, so yeah, that is a potential negative for sure. So I might wind up just getting the bigger fenders. All right, so here we go. You do the 1, 2, 3 this time.
Ready, set, go. It's okay.
Victory dance. Yeah. Yeah, she won. Okay, so let's try this.
Well, you want to set it down?
Yeah.
And that's because I'm lighter that I was able to keep up just a little bit there.
You're faster off the acceleration, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But this
again.
yeah, this definitely has
Come
more.
on.
This definitely has more top end.
Come on, switch and film it too. Come on. Oh, a beep there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so from our initial round of testing here, it seems very clear that you do get some additional top end speed. You'll notice that whoever's on this one starts hitting the tilt back beep, and the Monster Tires Mini Pro keeps going. So you can see Cindy has spent some time. She dressed up her Mini Pro with some vinyl adhesive stickers and mermaid. She made it into a mermaid wheel. You won't see me riding this in public very often.
I know. I need to make.
All right, so we are. Okay, I'm riding through some wet grass. Huh? It's deeper than I thought it was. No, I didn't drown it. All right, so I did not expect to go through water that was that high, but the tires came in handy for that as well. So with these tires, you definitely have a different feel when you're riding, because it's more of a rounded tire, where the stock Mini Pro tire is very flat. So I would say that the ride is not as smooth as what we're used to with the normal Mini Pro, but that could be fixed with maybe letting some air out. But until this bead is nice and seated, I'm not going to be lowering the air pressure anytime soon. You can see what Cindy was talking about with your feet. You know, you got nothing between the outside of your feet and the spinning tire, so definitely not ideal.
catch you. Ah. Whew. Quite a case. Stand still. Oh, it's facing it?
Okay, so not exactly scientific testing, but I would say that we've established for sure that when you put the bigger tires on the Mini Pro, you will go faster. Don't have speed trap. Let me actually here. I do have my GPS here, so let me see what my GPS says. All right, so here we go. All right, so the GPS says 11.1. So yeah, I've never actually timed the Mini Pro using a GPS before. I've only ever done it with the app, so who knows how accurate the app is. From a GPS standpoint, looks like I got up to like 11.6 there, but it was tilting back. So, but head to head, there definitely is a difference, without a doubt. I'd say obviously you get more clearance when you're doing off-road stuff, like driving through grass that has more water in it than you imagined, and that kind of saved my bacon there. On the negative side, I think not having fenders can be a potential problem because of the possibility of your feet rubbing against the tires. It's not good, so probably wind up putting fenders back on this thing. And I think the ride itself is it's a firmer ride. You can see that narrow strip there. You're actually riding on less rubber compared to the stock tires. It's a thicker sidewall, but it's less rubber. So I could drop the pressure down on these and it might be a little bit different. Right now I have it at max pressure of right around 40. I might mess with that pressure a little bit to see if I can find a happy medium there. But right now, because of it popping off the bead, I want to kind of keep the pressure as much as possible. See what Cindy's feedback is.
I'm hot.
He's hot.
The other one is smoother. The other tires are flat. They're smoother. This is fun. It definitely can go in deeper water, I guess.
It's definitely
How did
faster.
you like it on the
It's definitely
track?
faster. It feels,
fine?
yeah, it feels, you have more clearance.
I mean,
for sure.
it's definitely faster, for sure. It'll be interesting to test it to the i2, against the i2.
Yeah, we wanted to do a head-to-head Monster Mini Pro versus the i2 to see how that compares. So.
My other comment was, yes, you need fenders, because if you're silly enough not to wear sneakers, you might get a little burn like I did when I leaned to the side and the tire rubbed my foot.
All right, recording this outro one more time because when I dropped it, it put it into some sort of weird mode. That's all I got for you for this video. If you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. And feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, feedback, thoughts, ideas below. I read them all. So that's all I got for now. Until next time, Duffman and Cindy, who's hot, out.